What's up? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. How low can you go? Hello, hello, hello. What if that's what they were saying every time they said? What if instead of hello, it was actually hello? How low can you go? Welcome. Glad you're here. All right. Well, first of all, just as a side comment, good job. Good job, Naps. Naps for the win. All right. So first of all, total props to the dude. I have over 100 videos. Total props to the dude that went through over 80 over 80 of my videos to go thumbs them down. That's dedication. And you know, it'd be nice to know, not who I don't really care who it was, but it'd be nice to know what the trigger was that motivated somebody to spend, I mean, maybe they were able to knock that out in a, I don't know, 20 or so minutes, maybe less with a fast computer or something. But are you getting what I'm saying? The thumbs down thing with the how low can you go? I just think it's funny because it doesn't actually matter. You know, the number one contributing factor to your video ratings, the algorithms, is length of time watched and the corresponding rating. So if you were actually wanting to hurt somebody, at least a tiny little bit, you could you would have to watch the video in its entirety and then thumbs it down. which as far as my videos go, that would be hysterical, because they would actually be, I mean, if they could put it on mute and just like, but that's a lot of time. My videos are all 45 minutes plus for the most part. So more power. Here's the other thing, is having a 100% like ratio is not necessarily a good thing either. So they're only helping. Does it count 2 times speed? It's length. It's real-time length. So if you 2x all your videos, you're giving a 50%. I've never listened to myself on 2x. Well, I have, but I've listened to myself on 2x. I feel like I talk pretty fast, so Ben Shapiro on 2x, it makes you feel, I wouldn't know, but it makes you feel like you're on something. I mean, I know what caffeine feels like. All right, so listen to it on 0.5 time, so you're spending 2 hours on every video instead. That would be pretty funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So they listen to it on the lowest possible speed, and then they thumbs down it. Oh my gosh. That is raw dedication. That'd be amazing. All right. So how low can you go? This is the topic that just popped into my head today while I was working. I was like, I want to talk about this. This is a worthy cause. I mean, there are more worthy causes. Don't get me wrong. There are worthier causes. However, we're talking about independence, energy independence, self-sufficiency, all this stuff. Talking about being able to like do a farm unity and not have to be dependent on the government, so on and so on. So I want to know, for any family that has 2 or more children, if you have one, that 2 or more, okay, 2 or more. I want to know what the lowest overhead out of anybody I want to see, it's like a contest, okay? So I'm going to, I should have done this earlier, but I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to add up. I've done it before, and I should have it pretty well in mind, but I don't have the exact number, okay? So, and I'll tell you the categories. So as I tell you the categories, I'm going to be adding the numbers in my head. I'm pretty good with memorization and math, so we're going to work this out. So rent, okay? Electricity. I'm going to hold my finger so that I remember the categories, okay? So rent, electricity, utilities, aka water, okay? All right, so that's 3 categories. Insurance, category 4, insurance. For the record, I'm at 1,300. For the record, 4 categories, I'm at 1,300. For the record, at the 4th category. So that's rent, electricity, water/utilities, insurance. Okay. If you have a car payment, that's category 5. Any car payment, multiple car payments, I'm still at 1,300. This is one of the few things that I own in this world. Okay, let's see what else. Overhead. Other insurance, I'm at 1,350. Let me see. Just double checking. Okay, all your entertainment / utility bills, otherwise, like cell phone, internet, all that. Mine is I'm gonna round up, so we're gonna be at, we were at 1,350, now we're at 1,500 monthly, 1,500 monthly. So now what we have is we have rent. So 1,500 is where I'm at. We have rent, we have electricity, we have water, we have insurance, other insurance, and entertainment such as Pandora, Netflix, cell phones. So I'm at $1,500. That's my overhead for those things. Okay, I always factor in, because I can't change it, I factor in my commute. So this 2 hours every day on the road works out to be about $75 a week. So no less than $300 a month. So for the commute, that's $300. So now I'm up to $1,800 is my overhead. So factor in gasoline as well. I said factor in car payment, but I don't have one, so that's where I'm going to win a little bit compared to I feel like most other people don't own, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. So this is like a little miniature competition. I want to find out who has the lowest overhead. Specifically those with 2 or more children. So that's kind of the qualifying factor. I get it if you're like retired, you own your home, and that's it. You don't even you have a car but you own it. Your overhead could be like $400, and then the rest you would just be buying food. So that's the other thing, is food. Food is an obvious expense, but it's not factored in to overhead, because though you need it, it's kind of a flexible thing. You kind of have to get by with what you have. So right now, based on rent, electricity, water, other utilities, car payments, entertainment such as Netflix, internet, cell phones, gas to work. That's all the categories that I've laid out. I'm at $1,800 monthly. I'm trying to think if there are any other expenses that I have. Obviously, everybody's situation's different. So here's what's really crazy is what I just did. I just named the bare essentials of what I need. And $1,800 is where I'm at. How much do I make a month? I make $500 a week. So you see the margin, because I haven't factored in food and other transportation costs, like when we drive to the park or when we drive to the grocery store and other driving, which factors into about another $20 or so a week. About another 20, or to church. That's another 20-something a week. And then I tithe. Despite having, very... I'm just tithing out of faith because that's what we're supposed to do. And no, I'm not going to get you stuck on... We're not going to talk about the percentage thing because I ain't going to be sanctimonious like that. But yeah, tithe out of faith. Joyfully, cheerfully, because God's the one that gives you breath to work in the first place, and you wouldn't have life to even do the work that you think you did with your own hands if He didn't give you life in the first place. So anyway, and you spend money on what you value, all that. We know all that. All right, so $1,800 is where I'm at, not even factoring in food, groceries, toilet paper, all this other stuff. So I'm at $1,800. That's my overhead, not counting in food and groceries and all the other stuff that I need. What's my my alternative income? I have received, whether or not that will always be, I want to make more money so that I never, receive food stamps ever again. But that is currently the case, and that's a little extra that helps with the food. Doesn't help with groceries, obviously. But yeah. So it sounds, when you think about it, it's like, oh no, that's $50 a week. You've got $50 a week for your family of 5. That sounds fine. That sounds fine. You'll be fine. I'm not even factoring in other things like I've got annual bills, and that'll be going away if I can sell my land in Asheville. And if I can sell my land in Asheville, my wife and I have been considering the concept of alternative living, whether or not it's a tiny home or something that we own. Something we own to get the overhead as low as possible, because let's say we own it and we can get the overhead from $900 a month for rent, and utilities is another $250 on top of that. What if we were able to get that down to $200 a month or $300 a month instead of $1,200 a month? If we could get it down to like $300, that'd be $900 in savings, and then I'd be, instead of it being $1,800, it'd be a year. I know that much. I'm at $1,800 so for the year, that's 24,000. 24,000 minus 2,400, 21,600. So my overhead, not factoring food in, miscellaneous $600. Who has a lower overhead than that when you factor in having 2 or more children, and rent, electricity, water, other utilities, other insurance, and transportation to and from your place of business? I mean, obviously it's possible. Obviously it's possible. But that's why I named this video, How Low Can You Go? Because I wanted to know. And, yeah. The homes on my street, 4 or 5 different homes have gone up for sale, anywhere from $62,000 to $129,000. And in all those cases, the mortgage would be far less than what we're paying in rent, obviously. And so that just gives you a perspective of what kind of home I'm in. But it is a little baffling. I think about this on a regular basis because we want to get our expenses down as much as possible. But how do you do that? How do you do it? I mean, I know the obvious answers. You move, you sell what you have, done all that. You cut out unnecessary things. Well, what? What do I cut out? What do I cut out? Netflix? $13? That'll do it. That'll do it. That'll fix everything. No, but every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Yeah, that's true. Every little bit helps. I mean, if you were to set that $13.78 aside, in like 14,000 years, you could buy a home. It would only take 14,000 years with interest and proper savings and transferring your money when each bank went out of business, like 14,000 years, and you could buy a home with what you saved in not spending on Netflix. You kidding me? That's like a no-brainer. Do it. Just do it. So $1,800. Who can beat that? Who's got 2 kids or more and a lower? And I will learn from you. I mean, you're going to be like, well, our rent is $400 a month, so you just can't compete with that. And I'll be like, oh yeah? Oh yeah, watch me. Watch me. Watch me compete. So, obviously, I don't know if you guys know who Dan Lok is, L-O-K. Dude is hilarious to watch. He's funny. He's a salesman. He's like the king of sales. He's like, I don't know. He's an interesting salesman, okay? He's interesting. Dan Lok. And, yeah, the obvious thing that anybody that's like a financial guru, they say, if you have money problems, the answer is making more money. You can reduce all day long. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of Beat the Bush. I like that guy pretty cool. He's all right. I don't watch very many of his videos anymore, but I used to when he was a little less popular. But that dude talked about getting his expenses down. Down. I think he owns his home now. I think he paid off his mortgage, and that obviously changes everything for the most part. So yeah, owning your own home. I mean, have you considered moving in? Yeah. In an apocalypse situation, in an apocalyptic situation, we would move in with somebody else. Oh, I see. I see. This is reminding me of this morning's video. So you're telling me that, no guys, cost benefit ratio. Okay, it's not that I would never. I'm not being a hypocrite to this morning's video. Cost benefit ratio. Okay, some things aren't actually worth it. But if it was like holy, the will of God thing to do, then yeah, obviously. Guys, do you have any idea where I've lived? No. I've two different ones. One was a group home, one was a boarding school where we lived. We had a bedroom. Our daughters and our son had a bedroom. Okay? So everybody's sharing. And so 3 kids in one little tiny closet-sized bedroom. Trundle bed situation with the crib. And then my wife and I had our bed, and we put our dressers underneath our bed. Our bed was on top of 2 dressers. We still actually have that set up, and our bedroom's a lot bigger, but we still actually enjoy that setup. A lot more floor space. It's a good idea if you can find the right dressers, wide and short. It's really cool to be able to put boards across the top, and then your bed on top of that. How long could I possibly just talk to myself and not realize that I was disconnected? How long is it just going to sit and be disconnected without? Why doesn't it like shoot off an alarm or blink at me or make a sound? I just have to look over and see that it's disconnected and wonder, beg God to give me supernatural understanding of when my video got shut off. You seem really angry. I'm not really angry. I'm frustrated about the reconnect thing. Everybody gets frustrated about that. Except, you know, consider it all joy, brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, 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 it does. All right. So let me recap, because I don't know when it shut off. I lived in D.C. at a boarding school. I lived in North Carolina in a group home. No privacy, no privacy. My mother-in-law lived with us once. That was really cool. It was good for a season. Wasn't a permanent situation, but it was good while it lasted. We've lived in a lot of different situations. On average, our rent was typically $550 to $750. We lived in less expensive places that typically were a sacrifice of space, of quality, just, you know, not horrible, but like one of the places had mushrooms growing in the carpet, and that was actually one of the nicest places we lived, superficially nice. You know, well, the place in Boone had no AC, but that's pretty normal in Boone. But anyway, we lived in all sorts of different places, and now we're living in a place that we knew we wouldn't be able to afford without the special, more expensive than anywhere we'd ever lived, trusting that God had. Yeah, I'm gonna film from down here as I freeze my fingers again for my well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean, legit super cold AC is blowing on my hand, so you know, I kind of want to go around all this because I'm not going right. So can anybody beat 1800? I'll go through the comments, obviously. I'll check it out. Oh, by the way, more important than anything, this is just a goofy video on my way home. Most of my goofy videos are my rides home. It's just the way it is. Yeah, I'm definitely going around all these people. This is insane. All those people are taking rights. Look at that. Well, you can't see anything because you're probably can't even hear me because they're blowing on my fingers and I'm getting frostbite right now. But it's cooling down my phone. At least. Oh, cold as ice. I know, man. I'm competing with you guys. So I'm at a red light, so. Who said fast 1 day a week? You're hilarious. I eat 2 meals. Dan, I eat 2 meals a day. I'm not complaining, God. Complaint video. I'm gonna put you back at the AC. This video is not a complaint. God is so good. God has provided over and over again, despite logic. Okay? So, don't get me wrong. This is a video about learning and growing together. This is a video about how we can all get it. This is a video about learning and growing. I'm just going to say it again. It's pretty simple. So, alright. But yeah, for the record, not a complaint. Not a complaint. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna go ahead and put you back up. I'm gonna put you back up. That phone is cold. Cold phone. It'll heat back up, and then I'll go back and do a reconnecting. If you could see how cold my fingers are, I wonder if you could. Not really. It's all good. It's all good. Everything is fine. It's all fine. Why are you still yelling? I was talking really loud because the AC, and I just assumed that you would have trouble hearing me. So, anyway. Hey, thanks for hanging out. It's really good to not have to have these conversations alone to an empty car. No, again, I've said this over and over again. The reason I'm doing these videos is to edify, to lift, to encourage. I want to be useful to you guys. And some of those ways that I can be useful, you might not see yet. You might not understand. But I'm here for you in ways you might not understand yet. It's all good. This sounds really weird. I don't mean to make that sound weird. I'm not trying to make that sound weird. But I got some skills, guys. Also, what do you all think? I was thinking, what do you think of me doing a kimchi instructional video? Teach you guys how to make kimchi. So that one day when we run our farm unity, what do you think? You guys want to learn how to make kimchi? I mean, I'm gonna make it again sometime soon because, as my wife said, I want to learn how. That would be a learning experience together. Okay. I want to learn how to make mead, and I'm happy to mess up. So when I made my kimchi the last time, it was just too salty. Little too salty. It's work. It's some work. And finding the ingredients, finding good bok choy, and finding good Napa cabbage is tough. It is tough. Mead is wine from honey and water and herbs and spices. Yeah, fermented honey beer. But whether or not you add yeast is dependent on where you're from. because there are some cultures that don't use yeast. So like in Ethiopia, for instance, when they make tej, T-E-J, tej, I don't believe that they use, I don't think that they use yeast. But I mean, I could be wrong. I've got to do more research. So tej is Ethiopian honey wine, and wine is like a misnomer. It's called mead. And I've had it. One tasted like, do you guys remember the little putty stuff? Ethiopia does not get everything wrong. Ethiopian food is my favorite food on the planet. You remember the little putty, sticky, smelly stuff that you put on the end of the little straw, and you blow the straw and you make the big bubble, but it's like sticky and stinky as all get out, and it was like in that little aluminum thing, and you squirt it out. That's what that bubble stuff. That's what this tej I had once smelled like, or tasted like. That smells. It was horrible. And then they had 3 different kinds at this Ethiopian restaurant I went to. I tried that one. It's like, let me try this one. And they were like, I was like, okay, no, that one's good. That one's good. And then I had another one. I was like, okay, that's all right. But one of them was like that balloon stuff, and it was just, I could not believe that something could be so horrifically disgusting. And I've had, you know, I mean, I could drink vinegar, but that was just terrible. But anyway, yeah, I want to make my own mead. I've made my own ginger bug, but the problem with making your own homemade ginger ale that's fermented is it's really hard to get the gravity up. Alcohol content is typically like 1.5%. And I'm not sure if you add yeast, if that changes things. Because if it does, obviously that would be the way to do it. And then I've heard that if you throw a jalapeno in there, that can help. So like add the kick, right? Because with the, dude, ginger's so good for you anyway. Man. Anyway, I made this video. How low can you go? It's just a goofy concept. I wanted to see if there was anybody else out there with 2 or more kids that got their overhead expenses below $1,800 a month. Minus, that's not food. Not food. Just bare minimum to survive without food. Your overhead. What you have to pay, or else you're on the street. That's what I mean by overhead. Because then if you add food to mine, if you add food, I mean, $150 a week is really what would be ideal for a family of 5. And I've looked up the national average for a family with 3 kids, and $200 to $350 a week, which I don't even know how people could spend that much. But they're factoring in eating out, stuff like that, because apparently that's normal in America. But anyway, $150 I thought was conservative for a family of 5 per week, but I'm sure that there's plenty of folks in America that are getting by on like $50 a week for a family of 5. I mean, rice and lentils and salt and butter, and that's it. Rice, butter, lentils, salt, and that's it. Just every day. You could get it down to like 30 or 40 bucks a week if that's what you were eating. Right? So I feel like 150 isn't crazy. I could be wrong. 150 is $600 though, not $900. I don't know why I was thinking 9, but that's $600 a month basically. I know it's 4.33, but you get the point. So $600. So that would bring, if I added food, we're talking 2,400. 2,400. So how many families of 4 or more with food are knocking out or cashing in? I don't know what word to use or phrase. When it's all said and done, their bare minimum to survive is less than $2,400 with food. Let me learn from you. I mean, I've really shaved as much as 5 jobs. Just work 5 jobs and don't even spend any time with your family at all, because money's the most important thing. Yeah, if money's the most important thing to you, then obviously working 5 jobs or 3 jobs would make sense. If you don't value your relationship with, there's a balance as far as I see it. And that balance for me is I'll be going into work super early this week, every day. The volume at work is insane right now. Overtime door is 100% open, but I value time with my family, so I'm going to go home on time. But like tomorrow, I might leave to go to work at 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to try and go to sleep early. Guys, I'm going to stream tonight on how to use Google spreadsheets, because you know, there's some folks that aren't familiar with it, so I'm going to do a tutorial on Google spreadsheets for Operation Baby Landlord. I will be streaming tomorrow, but I don't expect anyone to be with me, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be like 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. So it's all good. I'm going to get as much overtime as I can, because I need what I can get. And I'm thankful for what I can get. And God is good. And again, this wasn't like a complaint video, guys. If anybody with food included for a family of 4 or more has $2,400 or less as their overhead, show me. That'd be really cool. And if it's because you own your own home, that's kind of a obvious. It's kind of a duh. But I do need to make. I'm literally, I've applied for 6 positions. At least one of those, if not 2 of those, you know, I'm just gonna keep working, guys. I'm just gonna keep working. Without food. Wow, you must own your own home, man. You don't pay rent. Yeah, it adds up. But that's really good, Baldylocks. I'm gonna check the comments later. As always, I'll follow up in tonight's thing. But again, I'm gonna do a thing on how to use Google spreadsheets. I have a splinter on the back of my hand. You know, like how people say, I know that place like the back of my hand? I have no idea what's on the back of my hand, obviously. I just recognized I have a splinter on the back of my hand. Shows what I know. Anyway, have a great day. And make sure that you are getting it. Make sure that you are getting it by loving the Lord your God with all your heart, va'ahavta, with all your soul, nafshacha, and all your strength, meodecha. Okay? Levavacha, nafshacha, meodecha. All right. Hasta la vista.